Well, it's Valentine's Day, right on the Sunday, so of course I have to start off with a Rumi poem. It was 1,000 years back, and this still applies to our humanity so well. He said, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers in yourself that you've built against it. Well, here at Unity today, we want to add that when we find these barriers, love them. These barriers to love within ourselves are the very places within us that we felt wounded or abandoned or ignored, you name it. And we need our love and acceptance from ourselves the most. These precious, vulnerable child places within ourselves long to be held in love and acceptance. And if the child of judgment shows up, love him or her too. And when someone else doesn't accept our barriers, or we think they don't, it's just another wonderful opportunity to love ourselves even more and the tender places in us that are most in need of healing, which is just another word for love. So the most important and precious relationship that we want to celebrate today is the relationship that we have with ourselves and with the divine within. And embodying this place inside of us, that's where we meet God, Goddess, universe, love, the great I am, whatever you want to call it. And that's where our heart becomes not a half a heart looking for somebody else, but a whole heart. So we're probably sitting here today because we're ones that have been awakening to this fact that we are made out of love. We are born from love and return to love, and the whole time while we're here, we're learning more about love. So we are awakening, and that's the title of our first song written by Jane.
Hi, everyone. Just to let you know that Richard has played almost every instrument on my CD, so you're going to hear the background tracks. And also, I'm glad that I wrote these songs because it reminds me to open. Wait for it. Awaken to yourself. You can forgive. You can surrender. You can pray. But even that's too much. Take some moment to see who you are and to know who you are. You are. You are peace. You are love. You are peace. And when the fog rolls
Karen to come and read a poem by Mary Oliver. Perfect poem for Valentine's Day.
Of Love by Mary Oliver. I have been in love more times than one. Thank the Lord. Sometimes it was lasting, whether active or not. Sometimes it was all but ethereal, maybe only an afternoon, but not less real for that. They stay in my mind, these beautiful people, or anyway, people beautiful to me, of which there are so many. You and you and you, whom I had the fortune to meet or maybe missed. Love, love, love. It was the core of my life, from which, of course, comes the word for the heart. And, oh, have I mentioned that some of them were men, and some were women, and some, now carry my revelation with you, were trees, or places, or music flying above the names of their makers, or the clouds, or the sun which was the first, and the best, and the most loyal for certain, who looks so faithfully in my eyes every morning. So I imagine such love of the world, its shining, its innocence, and hunger to give of itself. I imagine this is how I began.
And then reaching back in time to a familiar sacred text, I've asked Donna to come and read one that you will recognize and that's often read around this time of year.
So this is 1 Corinthians 13 from the Message Bible, different from the King James. I memorized this when I was a kid and part of my Saturday work list. If I speak with human eloquence and angelic ecstasy, but don't love, I am nothing but a clanging cymbal. If I speak God's word with power, revealing all his mysteries and making everything plain as day, and if I have faith that says to a mountain, move, but I don't love, I'm nothing. If I give everything I own to the poor, and even go to the stake to be burned as a martyr, but I don't love, I've gotten nowhere. So, no matter what I believe and what I do, I am bankrupt without love. Love never gives up. Love cares more for others than for self. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Love doesn't strut, doesn't have a swelled head, or force itself on others. Love isn't always me first, doesn't fly off the handle, doesn't keep score of the sins of others, doesn't revel when others grovel. Love takes pleasure in the flowering of truth, puts up with anything, trusts God always, always looks for the best, never looks back, but keeps going to the end.
And we could add on to that verse at the end, and love is the opening door. Favorite Elton John song of mine, and Cara and Jane and Richard are going to do it for us, but we invite you to sing along with it if you are familiar with the words. It's a great invitation to open the doors of our heart. Love is the opening door. Love is
I never wanted an iPhone in my life.
Alan, could you turn it off?
Just turn it off.
Okay.
The words I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You say it's very hard to leave behind the life we knew, but there's no other way, and now it's really up to you. Love is the key we must turn. lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? The words I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Have your eyes really seen?
Many of the spiritual masters have asked us that question, right? Have your eyes really seen? Is your heart open to seeing that love is what we came here for? When you think about Jesus and his message, he said, I am love. You are love. God is love. Here at Unity we say love is all there is. When Buddha was questioned about what was one of the most important things that someone could know, it was about metta love. And the word metta means looking from a higher point of view, but it also means mother love. So the Buddha pointed to the great love of the universe too. So we're here to feel into that today and to remind ourselves of that. But you know, this love, it's a tricky topic because we know it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And we also know that we get the most hurt when we love the most sometimes, right? So love requires of us a tremendous surrender of the heart. This week I heard a story about a young woman in Ecuador who's 26 now. But years ago, when there was great strife in her country, her mother wanted her daughter to live. And so she pushed her onto a truck that was taking off for the border with her backpack and said, love the world, my darling. And she never saw her mother again. But today she's back in, did I say El Salvador?
No.
Ecuador. I said the wrong thing because it's El Salvador. And she's there teaching children and setting up schools and training people that love really is all there is. And she's got so much to give out of the place of her broken heart. So I've asked Anya to come and read another Rumi poem for us that's about the surrender that love asks of us.
Such a feel here in this room. This is obliteration.
Might have
Turn the
turned
switch
on the bottom.
Obliteration to love. Love, that mystical state of pure being, is only attained by a wild and unfettered devotion, only heard by the brave and open ear of the Spirit. Love comes with a knife, not some shy question, and not with fears for its reputation. Love is a madman, working his wild schemes, tearing off his clothes, running through the mountains, drinking poison, and now quietly choosing annihilation. There are love stories, and there is obliteration into love. You've been walking the ocean's edge, holding up your robes to keep them dry. You must dive naked, under and deeper, under, 1,000 times deeper. Love flows down. The ground submits to the sky and suffers what comes. Tell me, is the earth worse for giving in like that? Don't put blankets over the drum. Let your spirit ear listen to the green dome's passionate murmur. Let your spirit ear listen to the green dome's passionate murmur.
Richard?
It's the track.
This is called It's the Love.
In the blaze of the silence, my heart burns like honey. In the gaze of my swelling heart, I see love coming through. Oh, I see love coming through. So stay here right now. This moment you are here. Sit still right now and see what is here. It's the love you've been looking for. It's the love you've been dying for. This time it's all inside. I'm living the life of God, a passion painted with love. Everywhere I am, everywhere I turn, I right now. This moment, you are here. Sit still right now and see what is here. It's the love you've been looking for. It's the love you've been dying for. This time, it's all inside.
We humans have a great need, said Hafiz. Out of a great need, we're holding hands and climbing. Not loving is a letting go. So listen, the terrain around here is far too dangerous for that. That's the poem. I'll read it again. Out of a great need, we're holding hands and climbing. Not loving is letting go. Listen, the terrain around here is far too dangerous for that. So there's something about this love that's holding on to one another's hands, and this love that at the same time is about loving ourselves, and how they're connected is what I'd like to talk with us about today. One of you gave me Matt Kahn's new book, Whatever Arises, Love That. And I read it, thank you so much. And then Jane got a copy of it and read it and said, I think this would be a great book for Valentine's Day. Matt says, and I sure agree with him, that there is a love revolution going on. And this love revolution starts with radical self-love. In this new book, he says, whatever arises, love that. A love revolution has to begin deep within our hearts, he reminds us. And when we feel this grace of love inside of us, it starts to transform our perspective on our own life experiences. Let me ask you a couple questions. Do you love yourself when you're successful as much as you love yourself when you make mistakes? No. All right. Yes. Do you always love yourself when you look in the mirror at Walmart? No. Or when you look at pictures of yourself? Do you love yourself when you face setbacks and have to start all over again? So today, I'd like to talk to you about radical self-love. You know, there's a movement going on. I saw it on the internet, a radical self-love movement. And it emphasizes the importance of caring for yourself, accepting yourself, and not settling for less than you deserve. In her TED Talk, this young blogger named Gayla Darling talks about the experiences and the feelings that led her to make the decision to start this movement called the Radical Self-Love Movement. After finding a way to defeat her own eating disorder, she went on to address other issues that plagued her life in her blogs. Many proponents of radical self-love themselves are people who have suffered eating disorders, who have worked to unlearn self-destructive behaviors such as self-mutilation. Often the young people on these blogs share their stories of their own journeys towards self-acceptance, as well as suggest resources and tips for helping others, and a lot of them have done TED Talks in the hope of inspiring others around them to consider a similar change. Gayla defines radical self-love this way. I want you to throw out everything you think you know about self-esteem. You know those books that say, I'm okay, you're okay? F that, she said. You're not okay. You're spectacular. You're a gem in the rough. You're a shimmering, exploding supernova. And you have one mission here, to love the cosmic soul in yourself. I love it that young people are saying this, you know. So radical self-love is about unlearning deeply ingrained beliefs about inadequacy and inferiority, and replacing those beliefs with far more positive beliefs, those of confidence and appreciation for one's own abilities. Radical self-love isn't just loving who you are. It's about taking care of yourself, really taking care of yourself physically, and being kind to yourself. Even if you have limitations that you have to admit, you've got to be kind to yourself. Getting enough sleep and nutrition are just as important, she says. So it's a good day for us to talk about this radical self-love movement that this young woman started, because you know when she started it? On Valentine's Day, 2010. She said she felt so sick of brilliant, genius women complaining that their life had no meaning if they didn't have a loved one on Valentine's Day. She said, having a partner does not make you happy if you can't be comfortable within your own body. If you can't love yourself, how are you really going to love anyone else? And she quotes Buddha as saying, you can search the entire universe for someone who's more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself. And that person is not to be found anywhere. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. The Buddha said that. So Gayla decided to start this radical self-love movement by blogging about it online in 2010, and it's still going. Women, through their own discoveries through this blog, have left abusive relationships, she said, have started their own businesses, have traveled the world. She said that she herself was on the side of not radical self-love, but radical self-loathing for many years. She grew up in New Zealand. She said she had a pretty idyllic childhood, but when she hit teenage years, she just found herself feeling miserable and really angry, and she didn't know how to deal with it. She became a teen gothic, and that's dressing in black all the time. And she was looking for others, she said, who were outsiders too. She said, my rage was huge, and I felt like I was on the verge of a mental breakdown all the time. I've started self-mutilating since age 13. I knew it was weird and wrong, but I did it for 5 years. Doing my cutting, blade too sharp one time, bled a lot. So that stopped everything. But 6 months later, I moved away from my parents' home. I developed an eating disorder, and I only drank coffee and ate a small piece of sushi every day. When not eating, it's impossible to feel love or hope. I felt like my life was over. But I was really lucky that a guy came along who was not going to put up with my nonsense, and he was really into alternative health. So he got me going in a different direction. I've counseled so many young people, and that's a familiar story. Sometimes I think about it astrologically that people that are in their 20s now were born under the sign of Pluto. So they've had to delve into what is this life all about and life and death issues. It just figures at this time on our planet, right? The young people will be going through deep journeys like this in order to find self-love. Gayla tells us that in the United States, 24 million people suffer from an eating disorder. It's a lot. And around the world, only 4% of women consider themselves beautiful. 4%. 7 in 10 girls do not believe they're good enough. A study conducted by Glamour magazine found that 93% of women have a cruel thought about their body every day. 93%. This issue of people unhappy with themselves isn't exclusive to women. More than 40% of boys in middle and high school exercise regularly in order to build muscle mass so they won't be bullied. And 25% of high school boys are acutely actively trying to lose weight. When we are unhappy with ourselves, when we don't see ourselves as good enough or worthy, we hurt ourselves, intentionally or accidentally. We settle instead of pursuing what we really want. We tolerate toxic relationships and environments. Sometimes we even think we deserve them. In her TED Talk, an African-American young woman, Kyra Lee, reminds us that most of us really do not believe in ourselves. She said, we may think we do, we may say we do, but we often really don't. Often we sell ourselves short and let our flaws be used against us when, as she says, instead we should capitalize on our assets and fight for exactly what we want and we deserve. Well, she knows what she's talking about because her mother passed away from alcoholism when she was 15. She credits radical self-love that she practiced as a teenager with getting her motivated to get herself to college. In the midst of her difficult circumstances, she went ahead and felt all her feelings, and she started to write poetry. And by age 16, she was kind of a famous slam poet. She believes that we've got to tell ourselves that we're good enough, that we're capable, that we have the right to be where we are, and that we can work wonders when we accept ourselves. Well, this is right in line with Matt Kahn in his book. He says, loving whatever arises means opening up our sensitivities even more rather than shutting down to survive. So it sounds like that's what Kyra did. She opened up to feel things even more, and then that came through her poetry. Lots of texts from various religions along the way that I've read tell us to cut off our passions and desires in order to be holy. But I see the spiritual path as one of passionate feeling and then practicing the spiritual detachment. We need to feel and experience what is happening, and then with spiritual tools, free ourselves from destructive reactions to these feelings. In other words, take on the spiritual practice that for years I've called it passionate detachment. Passionate detachment. It sounds like an oxymoron, but let's talk more about it. When we say that we want to awaken, perhaps the real issue is accepting how aware and awake we already are. We're very sensitive instruments, these human bodies. In most cases, your awareness is already fully present, but just in a state of hyperactivity that may cause you to feel overwhelmed by your feelings and unable to distinguish your feelings from others. So the first thing we've got to do is calm down and ground ourselves and transform our naturally born empathy into a masterfully honed skill set. So the spiritual journey is not one of defining our passions or denying our passions, or shutting down from our feelings. It's more a journey from fearing it all to feeling it all.
Right on.
Right on, yeah. In order to find the courage to face the experiences that may have overwhelmed you in the past, a set of divinely inspired instructions is transmitted to us by the universe. And Matt, in his book, has boiled these instructions down to just 4 words. These 4 words reveal that an open heart is your only source of refuge. And these 4 words are, whatever arises, love that. Whatever arises, love that. When you open your heart to love whatever arises, you drop the struggle. You're no longer fighting with whatever arises. Instead, you turn toward the ever-changing circumstances of your life with arms wide open like this dakini right here. And you embrace it. You get the courage to do this by just being willing to love. You don't have to understand how. In this new spiritual era that we're living in, where people are getting it about radical self-love, we don't really have to understand with our minds how this is all going to work, how we are going to love everything and everyone. We don't have to understand it. We just have to bring forth a heart-centered consciousness for the well-being of all. We can let love be our guide. And then we become the vehicles of this potent, great love. We thereby activate the biggest form of healing in this universe to shift all areas of our reality. I think that's what the Rumi poem was talking about. Not just walking along the edge, holding up our robe in the ocean, but really diving full on into this ocean of love. It reminds me of a story that I've cherished through the years by Corrie ten Boom. She was in a Nazi concentration camp as a young person. Her parents were separated off from her and her sister. And she stood by helplessly as the worst thing happened. This one guard abused her sister mercilessly until she finally died. Years later, Corrie was speaking at a public gathering about the love of God and forgiveness, and she asked people to come forward for a special blessing from her. And she looked back down the aisle, and she caught a glimpse of the man that she hoped she would never see again, walking up the aisle in her forgiveness line. Her inner soul cried out to God, "Oh no, what am I going to do? I can never forgive this man, not him, not him." But the Holy Spirit spoke to her heart and said, "Open, dear one. You don't have to understand, but I can forgive through you." So as this man who was her deepest enemy approached her, Corrie took a long, deep breath, and she reached out her hand to him. And as she did this, she said she viscerally experienced this fiery river of love surging from her heart down her arm through her hand. And as she took the hand of this man whom she hated more than any other, he was overcome by the power of love, and he fell down before her, weeping and crying and begging her forgiveness. And in that moment, Corrie's heart broke open, and she felt authentic forgiveness and love beyond her comprehension flood her whole being. And that day, a soul was saved, and human hearts were reunited in the great oneness that is God. This story shows us how there's often a sacrifice involved in opening our hearts to love. We sacrifice our victimhood in order to move forward in true empowerment. We let go of our ego that seeks to protect us by seeing ourselves as a victim. This willingness to allow our choices to come from love, no matter what the circumstances or the outcomes at hand, is what I and Matt call the heart of surrender. We can only truly meet one another as human beings at the place of the broken heart. The place of the broken heart is where the reified worlds that keep us apart crumble, and we're flooded with compassion that fills us with light and love. We become the powerful vehicles of what Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, called love, light, substance. It literally flows through our being, and we become this substantial energy that changes everything. What happens in the heart of surrender is that instead of trying to control the things that we can't change, we redefine the way that we relate to the world in a moment. It's no longer a fighting way. It's no longer a struggle. Corrie could have seen that man come up to her, and she could have hardened her heart, and she could have turned him down and turned him away and said no, but she didn't. Because it's not about protecting ourselves with judgments or criticisms of others or speaking about others behind their backs. No, rather from this place of heart surrender, it becomes more important to greet the moment and each person with kindness and compassion than from what we hope to gain. The heart of surrender is accessed by asking ourselves a bold series of questions. Here they are. What happens if I stop fighting the things that seem to fight with me? What if instead of trying to change the behavior of others, I become the first one to stop fighting, even if others are still wanting to fight with me? Can you think of someone whom you need to stop fighting with? Even if it's mainly in your mind? Always blaming the enemy out there keeps us from really feeling our feelings. It's not very vulnerable to blame others, right? To become one with your heart and receive love, you have to be willing to be vulnerable and feel everything. It's vulnerable to feel rather than to immediately defend or complain. Through the welcoming of any feeling, then cellular debris is released out of your energy field. And since each of us is an expression of the universe, this cellular debris released out of one person simultaneously is assisting in healing many more. This is why loving what arises is the single most important way that you can fulfill your destiny. One heartfelt embrace at a time, you are able to welcome the spontaneous healing that shifts reality and supports the evolution of every being all at once. The first step is allowing yourself to even be aware of how much you're feeling. Sometimes it just shakes your body. You're feeling so much. This opening to even difficult emotions can make you feel that you're in the midst of some huge churning waves. So it takes attention and practice to deal with big feelings that arise. To be able to accept what arises, you've got to be able to ground yourself. I bet when Corrie ten Boom took that deep breath, it really helped her to ground herself. And then slow, gentle breathing actually gives a message to your nervous system that you are safe and that you can go ahead and experience the feelings that you're feeling. You give the message to this flight, fight, freeze mechanism inside of us that a higher consciousness inside of you than your reptilian brain is choosing to see everything as another moment of transformation. When you've created a little space like this of calmness inside of yourself, the next step is to locate the feeling in your body. Only love can make it safe enough to face what you're feeling and sensing. Is it in your chest, your head, your abdomen? In this kind of immediate moment, there's no need to analyze your feelings. Just by bringing strong attention to this part of your body where you're feeling the emotional or physical pain linger, you are releasing a layer of cellular memory just by bringing your attention to it. It talks about this in Vipassana meditation. It says that if you focus your whole attention on a particular pain in your body, within 17 seconds it will change. So by remembering that a wise and loving universe has orchestrated in your life everything that's happening to inspire your highest potential in physical form, then you're able to offer yourself the support you need during moments when it matters the most. This is what radical self-love is. This may be as simple as sitting down and breathing deeply with your hand on the place that is stressed. And then it's a good time to repeat this healing mantra to yourself, either silently or out loud. I love you. I love you. In a soft and gentle tone, keep repeating, I love you. Like a lullaby that you would sing to a child. Even singing it playfully to yourself. I love you. I love you. And do this for 2 minutes or more. Even if the feelings of being upset vanish quickly, keep repeating the mantra as a way of reminding your innocence that you deserve more love and more love. When we're growing up, so many of us got the message that we were unworthy of love. So we actually have to rewrite the scripts of our subconscious mind when we say, I love you to ourselves. We may reject it. So you've got to give your body the needed permission to receive this higher vibration of energy, of love. So you're recalibrating your subconscious mind when you go ahead and say, I love you, over and over again. We need to do this. We need to recalibrate. When your body gets calibrated to this higher energy field of love, then, in any particular moment, you can access this innate ability to change all of your past experiences to love. This resonance also recalibrates your immune system. Since the body tends to function as a living expression of the most popular phrases recorded in our subconscious mind, Your subconscious is repeating lots of things that you probably wouldn't say to anybody else. You don't deserve to live. How can you be so wrong? Those kind of things. Guess how your immune system might react in relation to those words. So we've got to reprogram our unconscious to allow it to be on the receiving end of our own love. Even if what arises is impatience or panic when we start to think about this, you can just accept that, even that, the impatience that you have with yourself, the panic, and send love to that voice in you that feels not ready for love. This practice of loving what arises is one of the most unique and foolproof spiritual paths in existence, because even the feedback that you receive from your deep self, this isn't working, oh no, it's just another call for love and acceptance. So love the voice that says this isn't working. Or the voice that says, I'm just the one who can't get it right, or I'm the one who never gets her way. Whenever those voices come up, it's just a call to feel them in your body and love them. I hear you. I love you. Everything is okay. You're doing fine. You can offer your heart the approval to feel whatever it is feeling by saying this kind of mantra. And in Matt Kahn's book, he lists this kind of mantra on 2 whole pages. But I'll just give you a few examples. This mantra, you say, I love you, and then you say, I don't know how to love the sadness I feel. I don't know how to love the jealousy I'm noticing. I don't know how to love those who hurt me. I don't know how to love what's here to be loved. I don't know how to love the one who doesn't forgive me. I don't know how to love the one who's always seeming victimized. I don't know how to love the one who's always desperate and fear-filled and coming at me with requests. I don't know how to love the one who always feels unworthy. So by acknowledging, I don't know how to love these others, or these parts of yourself, you relinquish each conflict and burden as it comes at you by entering the heart of surrender. It might feel counterintuitive to admit the depths of what we don't know. Yet in your body there might be a profound amount of relaxation and spaciousness and relief that comes with every confession of I don't know. By making peace with uncomfortable feelings, you don't have to walk around feeling like you have to know so much or that you have to control so much. It's through discomfort that your innocence is heard most loudly. And Matt Kahn says your innocence is only here to be embraced. That's when we can come in touch with the divine, when we sense our feelings and confess of not knowing what to do and say, I love you. And at that time, you will liberate yourself from your painful past and clear out your subconscious judgments and allow love to enter you and your world. Walking this unity spiritual path is training for your mind to receive whatever arises with love and compassion, because unity says there is only one of us here. So when you're sad or angry, you deserve a lot more love, not less love. When you're feeling down and out, no matter what past you've survived, you deserve more love, not less. Say this with me. I deserve more love, not less. I deserve more love, not less. Let's say it again. I deserve more love, not less. You are here on this planet to feel and experience more and more love, thereby becoming a living, loving spiritual master. Although the universe is masquerading as both the innocent child who needs love and as the parent giving the love inside of you both at the same time, the highest destiny of divine will is for this child to emerge as the master that you already are. In order to reveal the master within you, it's essential to allow love to be your most natural response. Whatever arises, love that. And you will be part of the love revolution that's sweeping this planet. And you may be given some amazing assignments. Like I read about this college student, Hannah Brencher. She graduated and moved to New York City. But when she was there, she got really depressed feeling. And she remembered that when she was in college, her mother every day wrote a little note to her in the mail. Not an email, but a written, handwritten note in the mail. So she would get so excited to go to her mailbox. And so there in New York City, she looked around herself and she saw a lot of other people who seemed kind of sad and lonely too. So she decided to start writing love notes to strangers. She put them in the books of the Library of Congress. And she hid them under napkins in cafes. She put them in hospital waiting rooms. And she felt like Spirit was telling her that the world really needs more love letters. So she put it out on the internet. If anybody out there needs to receive a love letter, just ask. And she wrote dozens and dozens of love letters to strangers. A single mother in Sacramento, a lonely grandmother in Kansas, a boy being bullied in rural Indiana, all asking her to write them a love letter. Eventually, Hannah founded an organization harnessing social media to write these love letters to strangers. Her website is moreloveletters.com. And now thousands of strangers are writing love letters to other strangers anonymously. And she has thousands of success stories to share, like the man in Chicago who was going to take his life that night, but he found her website, and then he asked for a love letter. And he told people what he was feeling, and he was flooded with many, many love letters from strangers. And he's alive now, and he sleeps with that stack of love letters under his pillow every night. Hannah says we don't have to be experts. We're not problem solvers. We ask that our letter writers stick to love and encouragement when writing these love letters. Your job is not to offer advice, but just support through your words to someone who really needs it. And the letters can be really short, like, hey you've got this, keep going. Or, hey friend, I want to tell you, you're loved. You've gotten out of bed today to face this world, so you definitely deserve a high five. Keep on smiling, a friend. So this puts a whole new twist on writing a Valentine, doesn't it? Let's reach out to those sisters and brothers, long-lost friends, even strangers, and really make use of this Valentine's Day energy. When we are overflowing with loving ourselves, then we're the ones to carry forth this love revolution, for you shall know them by how they love one another. Let's pray together. On behalf of the universe, I welcome you to a space you've never left, to an eternal kingdom that has always existed within you. As this love revolution sweeps over planet Earth, Great Spirit, we ask that this timeless truth can echo out throughout all dimensions to gently remind many, many people that in every breath we take, love is always there. Throughout any personal encounter that you might have, love is always there. No matter what comes together or what is pulled apart, love is always there. In your greatest moment of achievement or in your darkest moment of uncertainty, love is always there. Whether in the aftermath of a tragedy or in the presence of your highest triumph, love, you are always there. Love is flowing and harmonious, but it's also there when we're feeling frustrated and painful. No matter what you understand or don't understand, and despite of what you have yet to figure out, love is always there. When you feel alone or unsupported, please remember this week, love is always there with you. Despite your thoughts, regardless of what you choose or how you feel even, love is always there. All you have to do is turn within. Feel what you feel. Say, I love you. And you'll be met by that furious flood of love. Love is always there. Let's be part of this love revolution. And so it is. And so it will always be on planet Earth. Can you say amen with me? Amen. There's a meditation that I'd like to just take you on real quickly, and Richard's going to play some beautiful music behind it, just so you get to experience for a couple moments what we've been talking about here today. So I'd like you to take a deep breath. And right here, right in this room, go in your imagination to a place that is comfortable and peaceful for you. You know, it might be right here, but it could be another spot, maybe in your room at home or out in nature. But just imagine yourself in the silence of a beautiful place, a quiet space. And I want you to begin to find the ease in your body that we've been talking about. Here you are, sitting in a comfortable position with your eyes closed. I'd like you to just breathe. Breathe in and gently out. Completely relax. You know, if you feel any tension in your body, tense it up for a minute and then let it go. Turn your head from side to side, releasing any tension in your neck. Let your shoulders drop and unclench your jaw. Take a full breath in and let that breath out in a delicious, spacious exhale. Find the ease and the rhythm of your own breath, letting it wash through you and over you like the ocean waves. And begin to pull your attention inward even more, focusing on the sound of the beautiful music, the sound of my voice, the sound of the breaths around you. Expand into the space between your breath. It's here that you experience your cosmic soul, beautiful self. Now with your mind's eye, envision a beautiful scene from your memories, a place that you experienced a long time ago that brought you an unforgettable moment of bliss and tranquility. Let this place just pop to your mind. You may have imagined it before, and you can always imagine it again when you need to be here. It could be a setting of a cherished childhood memory, maybe some tree you climbed, or a beautiful place you visited on a vacation, or a spot that you go to here in nature regularly. Immerse yourself in the sensory impressions, the smells, the temperature, the way your skin feels there, the sounds you hear. Who's with you there? Were you alone? Were you with somebody else? Just recreate right now in your mind's eye, in your heart, this wonderful experience. And feel it. Feel what it feels like in your body, this glow of radiance. Let it fill your consciousness right now, allowing it to heal you. Another deep breath. And in this space now where you're relaxed and you feel so good, where you feel peace and joy and love, and you're breathing in these beautiful energies, just as your breath is washing over you, peacefully passing through you, love is permeating your being. Love, a great love is flooding your heart. Feel your own breath as if you could breathe in and breathe out of your heart. As if the breath went out from and returned to this deep core touchstone in your heart space. Love, it emanates from your heart. Remember, imagine how it feels to love and be loved so completely. When we love someone, a lover, a child, a best friend, we forget their faults so easily. We just long to see them and be with them and to touch them. And in their presence, we experience the best in ourselves. When we spend time alone with them, private, intimate time, it's a real gift. We accept and forgive many offenses and many inconveniences because love just makes us forget those things. The light and heat of love shining out from the heart burns through all resistance, sluggishness, bleakness, negativity. The light of love just shines forth in this constant kind of way. Warmth, steadiness, the vibration of love. It's so blissful. Bathe in this love right now. And be with the great beloved here in this space. Knowing that we are loved beyond our wildest imaginations. Send out this wild and unconditional love right now from your heart to someone that you love. Send it out right now across the fields, across the miles to someone that you love. Know that they feel it right now. And it's kind of like a boomerang, because when you send out this love, it comes right back to you. So breathe it out, send it out, and then breathe it back in. You are one with the beloved. You are filled with love, rooted in love, surrounded by love. You are the beloved. This is the truth about who you are. You have invited yourself, the beloved, to planet Earth right now. And as you would welcome someone that you love into your home, into the privacy of your inner room, I want you to welcome yourself right now. You are so beautiful. A being of light, a creation of love. Hear your voice speaking to yourself. I am unique. I experience my own unique being right now, embraced by the wholeness which created me. I have a unique DNA, unique cells, a unique body, a unique mind. I have wonderful and unique insights and gifts and talents to offer. I love my own being. I love myself. I love my cells. I love my skin. I love my eyes. I love my muscles. I love my bones. I love my brain. I love my voice. I am the embodiment of my spirit. I come from spirit to experience love here. There is only one me, and I am one with all that is. I am beautifully and wonderfully made. Everything I do and have done is a step on the journey of my life, and I accept it all as love. I am loved. Love is always present. I will be here for myself, to comfort and encourage myself. I will be a good friend to myself. So for one more moment now, just feel the embrace of this powerful love that is you, that surrounds you, that you know in your deepest heart. And return to this love anytime, any place, in any moment that you need it, because love is always here for you. Resting comfortably now in this space of love, in the presence of people here that we truly love. Rest into the silence for just a couple more moments. Take a deep breath in and exhale fully. Begin to shift and adjust your body, wiggle your toes and rub your fingertips against your thumbs and bring yourself back into this room. And experience this room, these people, yourself with a new state of mind. Please take it with you for the rest of your day and reconnect with this energy often. Thank you for the gift of your presence here today. Thank you. Let's do a namaste to one another. Namaste.